night lights is every high schooler's dream, but instead of high schoolers, we got a bunch of old farts. And speaking of old farts, ruler of men, hello.
How are we doing? How are we doing?
Oh
On
god,
a fine Friday night.
I'm
Most
excited.
exciting set of the week, for
Oh yeah,
sure.
we have killer kappas and death dealers. Okay, now we talked a little bit about this on Wednesday and how much we were looking forward to this, and I'm sitting here right now telling you how much I'm looking forward to this because we got Frank versus Lunar. You know, our two admins, I guess, so to say.
They exist. Yep,
Let me just drop off that word right there. Or yeah, our two admins around here at Frank's retirement home, and what better way to see it than seeing them beat up on each other? I mean, like, come on, this is content right here.
Exactly. No, admin on admin violence is the best kind of violence. I mean, one of them has to lose at the end of the day. You know, that's what we're looking for.
And well, the games are underway. Bans are going on out. We see Bake Kujira getting knocked away from the Killer Kappas. I guess they listen to me when I say ban the whale, and you say ban the whale, and yeah, when we're
Everybody
saying
else says
ban
ban
the
the
whale. Yeah.
whale.
Kukul Khan getting knocked off the table from the Death Dealers. A very potent mid lane pick right now. Going to see some nerfs coming up in the patch. We're going to be talking about that next week. I'm excited. Maman Brigitte also. Another good scaling god. See her a lot more in the jungle. Thanatos being the final ban from the Killer Kappas. Ganesha and Athena getting banned away by the Death Dealers. And Ganesha is a notable pick for Darth Dumbledore. But we have been seeing him on that Karen a lot. And another but that leaves the Vamana open.
Vamana, open and just so strong. The amount of work he can do in a team fight is just insane. Oh, you looked at me wrong? Well, now I'm Colossal Fury, Big Baby, stomping on you.
Just running through your back line, running through your front line, even just doesn't even
Front
care.
line,
Yeah,
back
let me
line.
just
He's
dash
got
right through.
Kins. He's got an axe of animosity. He doesn't care who he's hitting. He's going right through him.
Come on, don't forget Phalanx. Literally, the big item that's actually just enabling all of these auto attack warriors over in the solo lane.
But yeah, that gives him good defense, but
Gives them good
defense
offense.
only goes
Gives
so
them
far,
attack speed. Yeah.
Yeah, but kin size and an axe of animosity, just yellow numbers, haha, funny.
Poseidon getting locked in here in the first pick spot, and an Amaterasu. Now, the Amaterasu versus Vamana matchup can be very interesting. Don't get me wrong, but isn't one that I really, I guess, expect to see. So
Yeah, we saw it last week in, I believe it was a Canes game, and it just went incredibly well. Amaterasu, kind of just won the lane and then just applied that passive debuff on the Vamana in every fight so he could just get taken down quicker. So maybe following suit.
I'm looking forward to if they can clear that up for themselves and their team comms, because they do have the Poseidon. So that right there is going to be really good shred, really good burst on whoever they decide to go on. If you're deciding to shred objectives, if you're deciding to shred a tank, even. I'm going to need some follow-up, but unfortunately, when I look over on the other side, I see Hachiman and Geb, an extremely safe duo lane, number one. Number two, it's Hachiman, probably our best ADC in the game right now.
Yeah, I don't think that's even like an understatement. Just absolutely insane right now. And Geb Vamana is a scary front line because Geb just throws a shield out front and then he just plays the back line. Just awful to deal with. Why does Vamana have an extra shield? What is this?
Oh, you want to dive my backline too? Well, here, let me just cataclysm in your face and knock you. Yeah, just dump that one right on top of you and make sure that you can't play the game. And yeah, it really makes, for lack of better words, makes playing a diving character really, really hell for, I mean, anyone on the Death Dealers this game. But they do lock in the Karen. We were talking about it a little bit earlier in the draft, how Darth Dumbledore likes to go towards this pick, something that can be very aggressive for him, and that someone sticks in the middle of a team fight. I've seen it gotten used around Pyromancer pits, I think, more than anything, and that corridor is just so tight, you're getting hit by it.
Just any tight corridor. Like, you fight Karen in the jungle and you're like, ooh, shivering, like, he's gonna beat me up.
Bans flying through here in the second phase. Two ADC bans over on the side of the Killer Kappa saying, Frank, you're not going to play the game the way we want you to play. We're going to force you onto something that maybe you're a little less comfortable with. Chernobog and the Cupid getting banned away by the Killer Kappas, and over on the side of the Death Dealers, banning away two assassin picks. We're banning away the Thor and the Ratatasker, and it is the X-Ball, Hover X-Ball lock-in for the Death Dealers. Now I'm seeing this Darkest of Nights being in the middle of a team fight. Imagine that Karen all ripping through at the same time, not having a clue where anything is coming from. And then bam, Kraken.
Yeah, can't forget the dazzling offensive either. Like ridiculously strong team fight out of the Amaterasu. That's a scary team to team fight into. The other side you have the Geb, who's has a Cataclysm, does pretty well there, but like so far the guys that they're looking into aren't that great at team fighting compared to Death Dealers.
Yeah, there's a lot more I don't want to say single target damage. Doesn't feel like single target damage. We got good rotations from the Janus. We have good defensive potential with the Geb. We have good offensive potential with the Vamana. Just good team fight coordination in general. But I do see that over on the side of the Death Dealers as well. We like we were saying, we have that Karen, we have that X-Ball, we have the Poseidon, and then the Amaterasu with the dazzling offensive. There's good potential for them to just lock down a single target, get on top of them. The one person who I think is going to be very difficult to do that, though, is this Janus pickup that we see now here in the second phase that can be very slippery. And making sure that that Janus is separated from the Hachiman, moving around the fight, and he's probably going to end up having to play this a lot more like a bursting assassin type. And they kind of baited us there with the Bakasura hover for that long and ended up swapping it to the Ravana, something that I thought was going to help them with a little bit more shred. But then they're like, nah, we just want to get in the face of everybody and we're just going to go Vamana Ravana and dive out and see what happens.
Yeah, definitely a very strong dive. You have Ravana and Vamana both going in. Somebody gets a Geb shield, and then they're still able to kind of play the back line. Definitely strong, but I still think they're a little more single target.
Yeah, I can
You're looking
agree.
to burst down one person at a time and then move on to the next. And I don't know how well that's going to go into this Death Dealers team comp elite game. I mean, there's just so much like team wide that you can get done with that summon sticks, with the Kraken, with the dazzling offensive.
Still a lot of potential for what this last pick can be because I see some flex potentials possible. Possible. But whatever this last pick may be could determine how well that Killer Kappas draft is going to end up surviving going into the mid game, going into those objectives, and into that late game, like we were saying, like you were saying. And it is a Hera hover.
Okay, so maybe looking
Very
at a Poseidon jungle.
The Hera, interesting. I
I
find this
was
very interesting.
I was really thinking like a Susano would have went absolutely stupid there. But I mean, I don't mind the Hera. We did see Rel have that amazing week one performance where he got the quadra kill. So definitely a guy that he's comfortable on. Gonna have to see about this Poseidon. Does well into the Giannis, but really easy to get doped by the Ravana and the Vamana. So gonna have to be very careful there.
On the plus side, at the end of the day, you always have Argus to do the work for you. So if push comes to shove, dump Argus on top of somebody. I'm a little bit worried, though. I think my worries are this Ravana pick into Hera. It's something that I really like myself being a jungle player because her abilities are quite telegraphed. And having a very telegraphed mage when you're trying to, oh, I don't know, just dive on top of them as Ravana. Well, let me just dump my Mystic Rush ultimate on top of you. Let me just overhead kick
Overhead
to
kick.
avoid
Oh,
that.
you have a 1 CC. What if I overhead kicked?
You have no CC immunity. Let me just root you in place and slow you and chase you. It's like it feels kind of like a difficult pick here for them in the last slot and wasn't what I was expecting at all.
Yeah, not what I was expecting, but one of these things that I keep thinking is if you're playing in walkers, go for your comfort picks. Rel, he's obviously comfortable on the Hera. He already had a good performance. It might not fit the comp as well as, we might like, but you got to go with what works for you.
Now we're just waiting on teams to load on it. Are they good to go? We did. Okay, they are good. She said she'll be okay. We'll be good to load in right into the game right away. So I can see some good late game scaling from the Death Dealers. Hera's been seeing some good shadow buffs here and there over the years, over time. She's been kind of getting left on the back burner. So I'm interested. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I don't think
Now
she's a bad god. Just tough to play into this comp.
Yeah, here's my problem is when you're Hera, how are you getting away from that Ravana Vamana that we were talking about, just diving in your face?
By sitting under tower and utilizing your seventh man, you know.
Yeah.
You got the sixth man in the tower, you got the seventh man in Argus.
Well, I was kind of wondering, like, with that Poseidon pickup, if they were leaning towards maybe a double hunter or even an assassin or warrior over in the mid lane. Like, there's good potential, but it does give them good scaling in the jungle, which I do see. You know, I mean, I think Harem maybe has more of an early game than. No. Let me think on that one a little bit.
Definitely a hard one to call there for sure.
Oh, we are moving on into game. It looks like.
Certainly does appear that way.
All right. So here we are, game number 1 of Killer Kappas versus the Death Dealers, seeing where these picks are lining up and seeing what is going to end up happening. You know, we were talking a lot about the Ravana into Hera matchup, and it's Ravana into Poseidon ruler.
Yeah, I knew it was Poseidon jungle.
I know, it's Ravana into Poseidon. It's like,
Yeah.
tale
Yeah,
is
it's
old
it's
as
the it's
time.
it's the double counter matchup. Ravana not only runs down Hera, but just kind of says no to Kraken.
Yeah, might have been a little bit of an oversight from the Death Dealers picking this one so high up in the draft. I mean, kind of hard to say. Ravana was picked last by the Killer Kappas when they hovered Bakasura for 10 years, but was picked last by them. Are seeing builds being pretty staple right now. We do see a Mannequins pick up over for Frank with that teleport in the ADC role. I'm interested to see what he's going to be doing there. Looks like both supports opting for that prophetic cloak. I can definitely see Karen. Geb is the more interesting one to me, seeing him stack a prophetic cloak.
Yeah, definitely not the easiest item to stack on Geb. You know, you got to be real aggressive. Got to be looking for those just constant knockups. Can be done. Should it be done? Hard to say.
I'm also noticing 2 Vibrant Shards pre-buff over for the Death Dealers.
You know, somebody's got to be buying them.
Now, I guess, you know, got to get those stats onto Iris somehow. Let them know that,
I
yes,
do have
we do.
to agree, though. I think that, you know, Horn Shard is just an upgrade right now. Being able to get another ability off rather than doing a little bit more burst damage. It's ISO taking off a fucking early kill. Excuse my
Wow.
language.
Excuse my language. I
Wasn't
mean, that's kind of
expecting
what
it.
wasn't expecting it, but that's kind of what I expect from this team comp. You know, you have somebody who's as immobile as Hera. Ravana just kind of comes in, blinks in, roots her in place, and without a beads available for Ral, has Aegis instead. He's not able to get out of the root. He's not able to get away from the slow. Then you just Janus combo on top of it and call it a day. And I mean, they did. That's first blood right now for the Killer Kappas. And already looking over to the dual lane, it's ISO finding Darth Dumbledore, rooting him in place, beating him on down. Here comes the gap. That's a tower, buddy. Tier 1 tower putting in some
He
serious
lives
work.
this. A guy like him gets out.
No way.
That is actually criminal.
Yes, that was unbelievable. Wow. I can't believe he ate 2 tower shots below 2 minutes into the game and got himself on out of there. I think a little bit of a
Level
prioritization.
2,
Yeah.
2 tower shots, walks away.
He doesn't elaborate.
This is just great.
We're off to an electric start right now so far, I think.
There's certainly electricity in the air. Both of these teams are absolutely fiending for a win at this point, so I gotta love the gusto from the Killer Kappas.
That is true. Neither of these teams have won a single game. Yes, not a set, the game yet.
Kappas got so close to winning a game. It was so close.
Deacon knocking down the solo kill in the solo lane onto Lone Wolf, showing what this Vamana can do early in. I think early is definitely the strong point for this god. You know, until Amaterasu can get an item online, likely that Fainlinks, she's going to be in a difficult spot. Maybe it's just her ability leveling, to be honest. Like you were talking about with that passive, getting it on top of the Vamana, making sure he can't really play the game, and she can use the Dazzling Offensive at any time to force his ultimate in lane, so interested to see what happens as she takes over to 5. Should be happening soon.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to force the Colossal. Just take half his health bar. That ability hits, as much as, you know, people think, oh, you're just using it to CC people. That thing hurt. You get 2-3 items online, that thing is doing a third of a health bar.
Definitely does some really good damage. Jungle's ticking over to 5. And Ravana has his blink back up. There's the dazzling offensive you were talking about.
Dazzling
eating a couple
offensive
tower
OP.
shots. Deacon ends up falling, and Lone Wolf getting themselves a nice return pickup over here in the solo lane. Solo for solo, yet again.
I've noticed something.
Ooh, what have we noticed? I like noticing things.
Deacon had ult available there.
And just held it.
He thought
Okay.
he thought he was invincible. I don't know.
I'm playing Vamana. I've got to be invincible. What do you mean?
I'm big baby. I'm fine.
No one can touch me, ruler, okay? I don't even need to press the 4 button. I am a 4 button.
So he said, you know what, I'm going to take my back nice and early, and then I'm going to come back and use it to win lane again.
The nerves. Summon Styx and Dark Knights, both expended and knocking out that mounted archery from Gemini Angel. But hold that thought right now as we get a blink engage here in the mid lane. Ravana jumping on top. Janice jumping on top. Hera getting absolutely living 1 HP. Ginkgo, thank you for coming in and saving your mid laner. That was all 4 ultimates expended there in the mid lane, and Killer Kappas came up on the short end of the stick.
All right, so I think, you know, Killer Kappas might need a little bit of something to work on for game 2.
That is
Can
3
we stop diving
tower
towers?
dives. Yeah, well, two
before 5
tower
minutes?
dives from the Killer Kappas here, pre 5 minutes. 1 from the Death Dealers, pre 5 minutes. So we got 3 tower dives so far, pre 5 minutes. Yeah, we're having a game right now. We are having an absolute game. Prophetic look already online from Darth Tumbler. Look at him. He's level 6 compared to Player Hone, who's level 5. Just ticked over to level 5, by the way.
I really felt like Ginkgo was going to dive the tower there. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just, you know, used to seeing people go under tower. I was like, oh, he's just going to walk under the tower and kill Geb. But
maybe if he had Kraken
the smart
available, I wouldn't,
decision.
yeah. Maybe if he had that Kraken available. We are seeing he is building into the Doom Orb. So unfortunately, personally, and I think kind of a global perspective, there is, you don't really want to be fighting right now, you know, until you get that Doom Orb online, if you go and decide to upgrade straight to tier 3 Doom Orb. But I would honestly just go straight into a pen item immediately after, and then again, I wouldn't want to be fighting until I get my next item online. And we do see him doing that exact build. Oh, thank you for doing it as I'm calling it.
It's
Thank
just
you.
such an expensive tier 3.
It is.
It's so ridiculous.
And it feels like the merits for building into that tier 3 just don't really equate to the cost right there. You know, I think you're spending an extra 1,300 gold almost for maybe 30 power, going from tier 2 to tier 3 and 5% penetration. It's percentage penetration early too.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really good item, you know, to have. It's got a bunch of power. It's got a bunch of MP5. It's got.
You already got the passive at tier 2 though.
Yeah, but you don't want it early. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's a really good item, just early. It's such a money sink.
Yeah,
You
when
know,
instead you get tier 2 spear, okay, and that's 60 power for 1,400 gold. 60 power for 400 gold, okay? You know how insane that is?
It's pretty insane. I mean, it's
insane in the
100.
membrane.
It's what 200
Yeah.
gold for 30 power, and all you lose out is on 5% pen.
5% pen. I think it's like a little bit of movement speed too, and the passive for Doom Orb, you get 1 extra stack. It goes from 4 stacks to 5 stacks and lasts 5 seconds longer. Ooh, big scary. Summon Styx getting dumped over here, locking down on top of Player Hone. Death Dealers looking to secure themselves another kill. Split up this kill counter here in game number 1. Argus is putting in God's work right now. Argus is putting in God's work right now and sending Player Hone back to the gray screen, expending the shell of the Geb as well. And Death Dealers are just going to go back to clearing waves to show them that that was nothing to them.
Ooh, unfortunate. Gemini able to go ahead and grab that kill on the way back. Uses the mounted archery to do it, and you were kind of doubting on the Hera, and looks like it's working out pretty well.
I wouldn't say I was doubting on the Rez. Kraken rips through over in the
I don't know if
dual
that's
lane.
a great pick into you know,
okay.
Ravana, Vamana.
You know what?
It's cooking.
1, it's only been into the Ravana so far. Okay, it hasn't been into the Vamana yet. All right, that will come soon. Once objectives start spawning, we got 4 minutes out until Beacon spawns, and I'm sure we're gonna see Deacon at the Beacon. You know,
Beacon, it rhymes. It's gotta
happen. Yeah, it's gotta happen. However, teleporter's active now. Solo laners tend to avoid all of their responsibilities and make their way around the map when that happens. So I'm expecting some rotations. I'm expecting the mid game to get a little bit dicey. That is where, because I think I was starting to go towards, oh, the Hera in the early game is going to be a little bit difficult, and you know I'm still not against that. Not in the early game. Early game is going to be fine. The mid game is going to be the difficult part. Here we did see Ravana. It's ISO blinking in, forcing the Argus, sorry, from Ral. Fight is continuing as Argus is just running down the team. He's got that up immediately. He's got 20% CDR, plus when he lands the abilities from Hera, you know, it just reduces that cooldown.
Is it abilities or autos? I can never remember.
One of the two.
I thought it was like while Argus is out, you like hit auto attacks and he gets like lower cooldown.
No, it's not while Argus is out because he doesn't go on cooldown until...
No, that's right. It's while he's not out.
Hera.
Give me a minute. I got it.
Yeah, we're looking now. Each time Hera deals damage, just deals damage with her abilities or basic attacks. Argus, the defender's cooldown is reduced by 1.5 seconds, and Divine Shroud's cooldown is reduced by 0.5 seconds. If Argus is active, he gets healed instead.
Okay.
All
right.
Making us do research, yeah. Look at that, we're looking things up. We're using our resources. Great casters today. Mid-set, like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
So what you're saying is she's just better Raijin passive.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, cool down.
They changed it. They made his weird.
Speaking of cooldown,
you gotta hit autos to beat the drums.
Yeah, that's just, man.
Mids can't hit autos. That's just mean.
Right, mage autos. It's like not only can they not hit them, they don't want to hit them because it just doesn't feel good when you're hitting them. You're like, pop, plop, pop.
If it's not a poly auto, it just doesn't feel good.
Right. Spear of Desolation picked up from the Poseidon now when he lands those Krakens, when he gets those assists, getting that cooldown online. Frank is absolutely shredding with this Mannequin's build over here in the duo lane. Has a partial item advantage over his counterpart Gemini Angel, but force the mounted archery for, well, I mean, just some auto attacks.
I'm just saying, that's the power of Mannequin.
We are seeing
Mannequin,
a rise
you can't outbox somebody with Mannequin.
No. And it's an X-Ball too, you know?
He's got the extra power from the passive. He's got mannequins. Like, you can't be fighting that guy.
We already said mannequins. Ultimate after ultimate after ultimate. Dropped here in the middle lane. Aegis expended. And Lunar B is the one to fall. Now Cataclysm gets dumped as well, looking for the counter pickup onto Ral. Gets it with the Mystic Rush. It's ISO putting one on the screen for the killer. Kappas trying to get himself on out of there now. Good old shield from the Geb. Gonna peel his jungler away, get him back to the safety of his tier 1 tower in the mid.
Yeah, definitely. It's just good play from Death Dealers. They've found the spot where they want to put this pressure and they're putting it on. Just not letting them have any fun in the mid lane. We've seen, you know, them diving mid tower to get the Geb. We've seen them going right for Lunar under tower. So I love that they're, you know, looking to apply that pressure where they have, you know, a lot of damage in that mid 3v3.
It's like, how are you going to apply it over into dual lane? Because there's no tier 1 tower over there anymore. Frank won lane. He took tower. He took tower early. What's going to happen over there in the dual lane? And to me, that's extremely dangerous for the Killer Kappas. If I'm a Killer Kappas player, I'm thinking, oh god, guys, we don't have our dual lane tier 1 tower. They're applying a lot of pressure here in the mid lane. Beacon just spawned. Gold Fury is up. You know, this is where all the objectives are going to be coming into play, and with the amount of pressure getting provided, Argus getting dumped yet again, blinking from the Ravana over onto Hera in the middle lane, and it looks like Beacon is going to end up going the way of the Killer Kappas. Unfortunately, it looks like the Death Dealers weren't ready for that one. Kraken gets used onto Lunar B, beats expended while she's in the air is not enough to stop the damage from that Kraken. Going to send this Janice on back to the base.
Yeah, just constantly pulling Lunar out of this mid lane. And, I mean, it's starting to come up. You're seeing it more in the jungle than in the mid lane. Beside, you know, able to grab a lot of those last hits, but...
Okay, Ginkgo's just walked in here and pressed Kraken on Lunar's face twice now in a row.
It just works. It just works. What's she gonna do?
Kraken, walk away, don't elaborate. Show up, Kraken, walk away, don't elaborate. Dazzling Offensive gets used. Oh, I feel like he could have followed that one up. Unfortunate, though.
Maybe he got a little bit body blocked by the meteor.
Probably. That is the thought.
Probably went to like go for it, and then like the meteor stops like a quarter of a second, and you're just like, never mind. I don't even want to chase him anyway.
I don't want that. Now, having to play deep under tower is what we were saying, you know, a little bit, that Vamana did some good work in the early game, but as soon as Lone either got some abilities leveled, got these items online, really starting to see what this Amaterasu can do in lane against the Vamana, teams kind of just returned to farming, returned to their laning phase immediately after that beacon, though.
Yeah, one of those things that, you know, we're seeing this kind of difference in the solo lane. Deacon went for the magical defense, looking to, you know, kind of diversify because he has to deal with that Poseidon. So has 2 defenses while Amaterasu is just like, yeah, I got a ton of Fisty. I ain't worried. I can box you all day.
The thing is, it doesn't matter at this point. You know, look at Kinko's build already. He's got the flat pen with the Desert. He's got percentage pen with the Doom Orb. He's building into more penetration. Like, his build is already set for a tank.
Oh yeah, probably looking at a Divine Ruin in that 3rd slot. Deal with a little bit of that Ravana healing. A little bit of that.
Ruin. Spear of Magus.
I mean, there's a difference between like the right build and the build that I believe is going to happen. He can't keep getting away with it.
He just walks up and Krakens every time. Man,
Walk up, Kraken, don't elaborate. Like, it's just a game plan. I respect it.
We're gonna go and listen into the Killer Kappas comms to see how Lunar's acting up.
Imagine if only we had the technology. That would be insane. Man.
Just hear her slamming on her desk. He keeps coming. He keeps crackening me. Why aren't we doing anything about this?
Why is he allowed to do it?
Here's the thing. You don't got to worry about the Ravana matchup, counter matchup into Poseidon if your Kraken's just always getting used on somebody else.
That is true. Ravana can't overhead kick it if you're using it on Lunar, you know?
Yeah.
Gotta respect that. That is a good point.
4
Doesn't
to
matter
5.
if Ravana dodges it if you're 3 levels up and you just kill him with Trident.
4 to 5 here, 15 and a half minutes into game number 1, and we are seeing a 3 to 4K lead creeping in favor of the Death Dealers. Look at that already. 4.5K.
Yeah.
You know, a slow burn, as you can see. Yeah.
And we haven't even seen an objective come out. You know,
that is the big thing. And when you look at the team
count, Kappas even get the Stygian. They got the beacon.
The Stygian. The beacon.
Yeah, the Stygian beacon.
Yeah, the Stygian beacon. Yeah, Kappa's got the beacon. Death Dealers still have the lead, and you could see when you were looking at the graph, it was just creeping in favor of the Death Dealers. I think they're just playing the map right, playing their farm right, applying pressure, and doing it, I mean, just right. Yeah, I've said it pretty good right there. Just doing it right, playing it right.
Yeah. Definitely utilizing this Poseidon like to its full effect, you know, looking to make those rotations. Oh, I have a good matchup into Lunar, I'm going to go ahead and use that. Unfortunately, not able to land the Kraken there. Still a ton of damage into this Ravana. Mystic Rush in.
I don't know if he's in a good end. It's ISO going to have to step himself away. 4 members of the Death Dealers making the rotation. Appeal for Frank. Arcus gets dumped. Overhead kick used. Make that 5
no
members dazzling and
I forgot.
There's no tower to stop. It's ISO. And now Geb ends up falling as well.
Fury.
That is easily gold. Come on, we got 5 members here. Look at the march. Look at them all just turn heads and go.
I forgot there wasn't a tower there. I was like, oh, okay. Geb made it out. Ravana made it out. There's no tower there.
Deacon's
just
getting
great play from Geb.
I thought they were out of there. And then all of a sudden, an Amaterasu showed up, and it was just over. It was over from there. Gold Fury going down first. Real objective going the way of the Death Dealers, further extending that lead now up to 6K here in game number 1. Look at that, instantly another 1.5K on the board for them.
Oh yeah, no, that Gold Fury, big money target there. They get that, and they're in a great spot. You know, one of the things I was talking about on the podcast was, that's mean.
That tickled.
You did that just to do it.
It tickled.
I didn't even do anything.
Tickled, look at the look at the damage that had happened on Darth. Darth just is like, okay.
Yeah. Chronos pendant moment.
That's nice, little one. Just step back. We're gonna pat you on the head.
Don't you do that again.
Stop it.
I mean, at this point, Charon probably outboxes, or at the very least, outlevels Lunar, you know?
Well, he's
just absolutely bullied in this mid lane.
Yeah, like you said, outleveled, has full Gauntlet of Thebes, has Prophetic Cloak at 17 stacks already. He's chilling. Just got a Chronos pendant just so that he could have more cooldowns. What is that? There goes that overhead kick. Now you don't have it, but you have to use that Mystic Rush to get on out of there. That's what we said. Those 2 get out of jail free cards against the Poseidon. Now beats expended from Ginkgo as well. Lone getting a little bit caught out here. Good rotation from the killer Kappas, and player Hone is going to end up securing that one. Massive Cataclysm there from the Geb. Now with the death, though, are they going to have the same kind of response that the Death Dealers had? Go for an objective, or are they just going to return to farming?
I mean, I'd like to see them be able to at least try to go for that Pyromancer, but like with only 1 pick, it's not like, maybe we can get it, maybe we don't. It's a tough one to go there.
Yeah, you just dropped 3 ultimates to kill a tank. You know, not ideal. You know, I think if they would have gotten the Poseidon out of there, if they would have gotten just anybody else, you know, Summon 6, hold that thought, dumped here in mid lane, and so is Argus. Argus, the defender of Olympus, marching down onto player Hone and just forcing him on out. Robin now here in the middle lane. It's ISO looking to get a little bit something, just completely kit dumped. What got both relics out of Ral. Beads down, Aegis down. What is this mid lane Hera going to do? Because Vamana is now here.
Poke him out to half health and then walk away slowly.
And stare aggressively from across the river like, next time.
Yeah, definitely. Death Dealer is looking to just keep on this pressure. Mystic Rush used, going to be a little bit of a mistake in the middle of 5. Never punished.
He's gotta die, right?
Never punished. Amaterasu dies for diving.
He lives.
Tower's starting to hurt. That tower's starting to hurt. Lone, oh, gets the tower.
Tower
Never
going
punished.
down in
Never
the mid lane.
punished.
No, got out. Unbelievable. Look at the low HPs here in mid, and now the ADCs are rotating on in as we see Gemini Angel and Frank both making their way out over here. Both full HP, full mana, and ready to just kind of pelt each other with some autos. Something I'm noticing here is that Gemini Angel went into the crit, but Frank went into a trance here in the 3rd item slot.
Talking about, you know, interesting 3rd items. Dumbledore has the Chronos Pendant. I love it. What if you needed more cooldown? Now he's at 30%.
It's a quick way to get those stacks on Prophetic, you know? Just toss your abilities over everything and just, all right, cool. Anyway,
his
but
abilities are so good too. You know, he's got the silence, he's got the slow auto attack speed reduction, he's got the root, he's got one of the best ultimates in the game, in my opinion, with the summon stick.
Oh god, having that on a 20%, now 30% cooldown actually, because Prophetic Cloak is another 10%.
10%.
Upgraded
30%.
his War Flag. So yeah, he's got 30% CDR right now. It's massive, I think, for this Karen, because like you said, that ultimate is huge. Pyromancer going down for the Death Dealers, cleaning and sweeping these objectives, using Argus to take a little bit of this Oni Fury. But
Geb got a kill.
Geb is here. Geb is here.
Knock up into Oni Fury damage.
Death Dealers do secure that one, though. Through space and time, it used. Lunar B is here, trying to get a little bit something off the back end, but Ral did get knocked off, so that's a positive. But I don't think it's the positive
into the channel is so mean. Like that's disrespectful.
I'd be
Gold Fury already does too much damage.
Lunar B now getting caught out, eating some very hefty damage here. Death Dealers decided to swing this one back around and go on the offensive themselves instead. Now walking on out because the baby is here. The baby is big. He's colossal. He was marching down, and Darth Dumbledore became the prime target. Horrific emblem expended, and he dashes away on those immediately. Way to wait out for the CC.
Yeah, definitely. And that's something that, you know, Whirlpool, OP, confirmed.
Oh, man.
That did like 400 damage.
He's got the Spear of Magus.
He does. Oh. Ginkgo is going crazy.
Ginkgo, the Poseidon, it's looking good. I'm loving it. Give
Poseidon
it more.
into Ravana bad.
Oh, and Ravana doesn't have buttons, my friend.
If somebody else just kills the Ravana, or, you know, does 80% of his health, you can just deal with him. It's no big deal.
I think the big problem is I'm not seeing its ISO use the blink to engage on the Ravana. Like, I think this blink has been up for a while now.
He was definitely using it earlier in mid, looking for the Hera.
Yes. And I think that's the problem, is you're looking for it on this Hera, and While yes, I agree. Early, the Hera was a little bit of an issue. You know, we can put this Hera down. She's gonna struggle getting into the mid game, and when she's in the mid game, that's her kind of struggle point for this god. And then we can abuse that fact. But in doing so, you allowed Ginkgo to get on this scaling character to get a 6-0 kill streak. Okay, this guy is putting in God's work right now. Just
You know, at least they stopped him from the 6-0 Kraken lunar streak. That's all I'm saying.
oh, I mean, I was here for it. I was here to just see
I think they're up
Kraken.
like 4,
Yeah,
something like that.
three,
Just
three or
straight
four in a row,
Krakens.
something
Right
like that.
there.
Yeah.
3, 4.
With him just walking into lane, dumping it on her, and walking
Walk
away.
up, drop Kraken on lunar, walk away.
Look at this, though. All objectives off the map. All tier 1 towers off the map for the killer Kappas. This is the pressure we were talking about wanting to see from the Death Dealers. The team play we wanted to see from the Death Dealers. This is way different from week 1, week 2.
Yeah, definitely. Showing massive improvements. Surely they listened to the retiree report Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, when
Hearing
8
us that,
p.m. Eastern,
we needed to see a little bit more out of their team fights.
I think, too, I might have heard a little birdie saying that it lit a flame under some butts here in that 2 out of 3 predictions.
Oh my god.
That's
Through the wall?
on the Ravana, because they got the ward. I'm sorry to get cut off right there, but man, that is Vamana down to frick. Oh, wow.
He got hit
Just
by the
wow.
summon sticks too.
All I can say is wow.
Yeah. No, the power of wards. What if you wanted to take your buff, but I threw a Kraken over the wall on you?
Guys, wards, we talked about wards win games, and right now, Death Dealers are just showing it. They are here, they showed up for game number 1, Fire Giant, here at the 24, almost 25-minute mark, getting poked down to about half HP. Poseidon is not on it, though, and I think that is a huge mistake. You have this Seer of the Jungle ready. Killer Kappas end up coming in and stealing away the Fire Giant exactly as I thought would happen. Unfortunate. You got Seer of the Jungle on Poseidon. You need to be on that objective.
Yeah, looking for a little bit of something, making sure they're able to take care of Lunar B and not going to be dealing with that through space and time, but instead they just lose it anyway. They focus a little bit too much on, trying to make sure Giannis can't steal it, that everybody else is just able to get in there, but unfortunately still not quite a win for the Killer Kappas. They lose 3, they're going to lose this bird, and certainly delays the game a little bit, going to be a little bit harder to push, but simply a speed bump at this point.
You say delays the game, but it's 10K right now here in game number 1 for the Death Dealers, and they are on a march to sweep down the rest of these towers. Tier 2 tower in mid, falling, dropping, absolutely collapsing, and that tier 2 tower over in the dual lane
that hit
is
2 people.
Yeah, they're a little low. It's okay. Now this tier 2 tower over in the dual lane is not a chance. There's no HP left on that one. That one's just gone. Okay.
What do we look for now? Do we grab the Gold Fury? Do we say, tough call?
I think it would depend on their wards over in the jungle, but they are just going to make their way on over to it. Gemini Angel is floating nearby, heading on in that direction. Going to call this one out, but it's only going to be Gemini Angel and Player Hone in the vicinity if they wanted to even contest it. Kraken gets dumped. Death Dealers taking a Gold Fury for themselves again here at the 26.5-minute mark, now extending their gold lead up to almost 12K.
Yeah, just continuously putting on that pressure. They have their lead and they're utilizing it, and that's what we want to see out of all of these blocker teams. Just, you get your lead, now what are we going to do? We're going to run the map, we're going to knock down your towers, we're going to knock down these Gold Furies, these Pyromancers, even take a shot at an FG, and that's just what you need to do. You get that lead and you just have to keep pushing it and pushing it.
I'm kind of scared though, because look at the immediate back from the Death Dealers, and where do they go? Straight to the next objective. Guys, what's happening? what?
They're on it.
Hold on, let me look outside to see if it's snowing. Oh wait, it is. Oh wait.
Well, I looked outside and it's not snowing. Thank God I'm in Florida.
See, I don't have
Nothing
that
crazy
luxury
going
in the
on.
Midwest, ruler. Okay, it
That
snows
sounds like
here.
a skill issue.
Yeah.
No snow. It did have hail a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
was not
it snowed
pleasant.
here just yesterday. It was exciting. Didn't stick for too long.
That's good. That's good. Got family up north that are dealing with like 6 inches of snow, and I'm just like,
It's fun.
oh,
Yeah.
ew.
Another beacon going down in favor of the Death Dealers, just applying that pressure to those Phoenixes, and it looks like the Death Dealers, the Killer Kappas think they're collapsing on Frank. But they don't realize that the Death Dealers are actually the ones collapsing on them. Darkest of Nights expended their dashing in.
Hajimon
They have
dashes
no
down.
idea. Dazzling Offensive is there.
But there's a mounted archery. He's
But look behind them. He's not out.
not again.
He's
not the
out.
double pincer.
Oh
The
my
double
goodness.
pincer is evil.
What just happened?
The double pincer maneuver. That's disgusting. What if
Are we
we wrapped
watching a
around
Walker's
behind
team?
you and then we did it again? That's crazy.
Are we watching a Walker's team right now?
It doesn't look
who's-
like it.
Yeah, who's
Death
the
Dealers
in-game leader right
are
now?
playing out of their minds.
What was that play? Mystic Rush expended here. I'm gonna try to get back into the game, but man, Argus is just beating up on Gemini. Phoenix goes down here in the dual lane. Death Dealers without the Fire Giant marching here into the mid lane, going for that middle Phoenix as well. Now, Ravana unable to even get close to this team. Cataclysm expended. Hera getting extremely low. Rattle ends up falling to Deacon, but the mid lane Phoenix does as well. 3 Phoenixes down into deep as it's ISO because the rest of the Death Dealers team are turning on him, seeing his low HP, and the Titan is under siege by minions. That Phoenix is going to be respawning over in the solo lane very soon, but you know what else is? The Fire Giant.
Yeah, this is just such a tough one for Killer Kappas to even like think about getting their footing back. You know, you have all 3 birds down. This is going to be an EFG. You're down 13k. I'm not sure what they can do to get back into this game other than just have a miraculous team fight.
It really needs to be a miraculous team fight. You know, I think the only slip up we've seen so far was that Fire Giant play from the Death Dealers. You know, they are really putting up a clinic here in game number 1, and I'm excited. You know,
Yeah,
if
they
this is
must
the
have a
kind
good
of team,
coach.
no, they don't.
Yeah, definitely not.
Not at all.
Not even a little bit.
Nah.
Nah.
This is the thing that I think though is that you know, each team has the potential to do this kind of thing. Each team has the ability to. It just comes down to seeing the opportunities, taking the opportunities. And right now, Death Dealers are taking the opportunities. You know, like I said, whoever is making the calls here, the Death Dealers are with them. That is the biggest thing right there. You know, you have the shot call get made. If your team's not following it, it just sucks. If you're not making the call yourself as the shot caller because you're too busy just worrying about it, thinking about it, again, it sucks. You know, you'll never know if it was a good call. You'll never know if it was a bad call. Making those calls and then having your team follow up on it to a T, that's exactly what I'm seeing from the Death Dealers, and every single call looks like a good call.
Yeah, I think one of the best pieces of Smite advice I ever got was, it doesn't matter if it's a bad call if 5 people follow it.
Exactly.
Brief space and time already used, gets it low. Mystic Rush not able to steal it out, and that is EFG for the Death Dealers. Darth Dumbledore picking up 1, Ralph picking up 2. This could just be the game.
Yeah, you know, I don't think a Mystic Rush is going to be out securing Poseidon's Kraken with Seer of the Jungle in this late game build. Look at that build right there. And now, marching down here into the mid, Vamana in a very dangerous position. Deacon just getting shredded. Frank putting that one up onto his scoreboard, getting himself 1 this game. And now, marching into the Titan room, 5 strong, 5 healthy, 5 with enhanced Fire Giant. Guys, it's game number 1 here of Death Dealers versus Killer Kappas, and they're putting it away at the 32-minute mark. That'll do it. That is game number 1 of Killer Kappas versus Death Dealers. Death Dealers, just an astonishing, an electric start here in game number 1.
Yeah, just an insane start. Killer Kappas, you know, they grab the first 2 kills, and Death Dealer says no. And they just play absolutely incredible for the rest of the set. Just building their gold lead off of farm, off of just pushing people out of lane. They don't even need the kills. Just, nope, Lunar can't farm. That means we get the mid camps. That means, you know, we push down this mid tower a little bit. And just absolutely incredible from minute 1.
And, you know, the way I'm looking at it too, it's just, I don't think I can focus on one specific person. There were multiple things happening. The big things that I do see, number 1, Ginkgo on this Poseidon. It looked crisp. It looked clean. He just showed up, Kraken, gone. Show up, Kraken, gone. And that's what I wanted to see. And the one time where it felt like the team fight wasn't too good, when we were talking about that Fire Giant, is when he wasn't there. You know, if he's there, if he's grouped up with his team, that's exactly what this pick wants to do with this triple backline, double frontline team comp. You want to be back with your team. You know, you're not a zoning person. You're not going to be back up front looking to get that pick, especially not when I'm like, what, 5-0, 6-0, and then I get picked, and now, congrats, there's a massive gold bounty. Yeah, I don't think that's the ideal play. So clean up those rough edges. The shot calling from the team overall, you know, the shot calls that were made looked great. The team followed up on them. It looked great. It looked crisp. And if they keep up that same energy in game number 2, you know, I'll get chills from that one.
Yeah, no, just it didn't look like a Walker game. Just phenomenal. Just constantly farming, constantly pushing slight advantages, making those moments happen, and just incredible. Just incredible. Definitely a much better performance than their, first 2 weeks, and I'm excited to see how they're going to go into this game number 2.
Well, game number 1 is in the books. Death Dealer's taking that one away. We are going to go to a quick intermission before we get on into game number 2. Look forward to it. We will see you in the picks and bans. Welcome back to Frank's Retirement Home. Death Dealers versus Killer Kappas here on Friday night. Ruler and Zek here on our desk. And well, Ruler, no team has, well, I can't say no team hasn't won a game yet, because here we got rid of one of our teams that haven't won a game yet.
Yeah, Death Dealers, able to take that game one and convincingly, I might add, just managed to get themselves, a couple thousand of a gold lead and just did not let off the gas. Excited to see, what we're looking at for this game number 2. Already getting rid of the Vamana, not gonna be not gonna be giving the enemy that when you weren't able to make it work.
Yeah, seeing that band away right out of the gate from the Killer Kappas, I guess they don't have that kind of response to it that Lone did. Lone was like, oh, you're going to play Vamana. Well, I'll just play Ama and run at you. And, the early game will be a little bit shaky. But after that, you're not going to be leaving your tower. And that's exactly what happened over there in the solo lane. So getting that one out of there. And then we see Ganesha and Athena getting banned away here. And last time, I'm pretty sure it was the Death Dealers who banned away the Athena. But I guess they're not first pick. So ban away the Athena. Thanatos going away here by the Death Dealers, and we're still waiting on one more ban for the Killer Kappas. Man,
It's got to be the whale, right? Like,
right? You ban the whale, you ban Poseidon. It's like, man, what is?
Ban the Charon.
I'm
just basically ban the water gods, Poseidon, Charon, Bake.
And got it. There we go.
No, instead
There's
gonna
just
go for
Hera.
the snipe. Just Ral, you can't have that. You can't do it. You're too good on the Hera. I respect it. I respect a niche target ban.
The question you got to ask then is, yeah, okay. Do you
Yeah.
take the whale or do you take this Poseidon? This Poseidon looked really good in game number 1. I'm not surprised seeing it here back in game number 2. And to be honest, into the whale, I don't think that's too much of an issue. If they say they take the whale, Killer Kappas, what do they do when they get CC'd by one of the frontliners just for 2 seconds, and then they have double Hunter and a Poseidon just raining down on them?
I believe you die. I believe that's how that goes. If you're able to just kind of throw CCs at one target, generally go down pretty quickly.
It is
Are
the
going to see the
Bake
whale
Kujira hover, yeah.
And I mean, the god is very strong, and especially for somebody that isn't necessarily a solo laner by trade, being Deacon over there. I think that's a good pick.
Seeing the Bake Kujira getting hovered, getting thought about. I think the Killer Kappas are a little bit worried in the sense of, okay, are we taking this because it's good? Or are we taking it because we can play it? And I think those are two massively different things. You should never be forced onto a pick. You should never feel forced onto a pick.
No, you should never be picking a god just so the other team can't pick it.
Exactly. Because then you get put in this difficult position where you can't play that god. Or maybe they were just thinking about their second pick. Hachiman getting locked in here in the first pick slot, followed by the Bake Kujira for the Killer Kappas, sending it back on over to the Death Dealers. And I think they were just so happy with game number 1 that they're just going to run it back. X-Ball and Karen getting locked in back to back here, but I think they have a team comp.
Those are the 3 gods that didn't get banned from last game. Hera's out, Vamin's out. Okay, well, we'll find other guys for that. We can still run something like an Amaterasu in place of this Vamana. No, they had the Amaterasu last game. That's right. Vamana was on Killer Kappas.
Is this the exact same pick order too? Because then it was
no,
Ama in 4th.
I thought Shivalanke was 4th.
No, X-Ball was picked in the top 3.
I didn't think he was. I thought he was their 4th pick.
Swear.
I thought it was Poseidon, Ama, Charon, and then Shivalanke.
Making me think about it, but Death Dealers are really doubling down here and saying, Killer Kappas, do you have a response to this? Ares is a pretty solid response, in my opinion, getting locked in here for the Killer Kappas. But again, I think it kind of falls into that same thing that we were talking about with the whale of, if you get locked into place, and I mean, you do it to yourself on Ares, you turn yourself into a little pinata, a double Hunter plus Poseidon just raining on to you with autos and just a Kraken. Good night.
Yeah. Those are 2 guardians that are absolutely capable of being punished. I mean, Xbalanque and Poseidon both going to be able to do just a ton of damage to them, so have to be very careful with when you're trying to initiate if you are on the killer Kappas.
Yeah, you're gonna have to initiate as a team. That way, the Death Dealers can't just focus on one target. If you allow them to focus on the one target, it's just good night. Good night, good game. That's it. Finishing off the bans here in phase number 2, we have Thor and Ratatasker knocking out 2 global ultimates from the Death Dealers. Killer Kappas say, yeah, no executes for our tanky front line. I can kind of see where they're going with their picks, and then the Scylla getting banned away as well. And what am I looking at here from the Death Dealers? Yeah, I'm seeing Chiron and
Probably
Chang'e.
Chang'e solo. I mean, I think
Right.
Chiron's really not bad into that team. Being able to kind of cleanse the no escape if timed correctly, and just being able to absolutely shred through Bake and Ares.
Okay, but the
I don't
question
mind
is
it.
how
Chang'e's the toss up
necessary
for me.
is it? Yeah, I think they're both kind of a toss up. I don't like Chiron entirely right now. I guess he will be over in the mid
like
lane.
him right now.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's pretty strong.
I guess here's the thing. Yeah, you are going the trans build as a solo, well, not a solo lane, as in, but solo, like the only hunter on your team. You don't have ideal build paths, but when you have a second hunter who's going to be building the more ideal hunter build path, you kind of have that freedom to build maybe more into ability based over in the mid, go penetration based, and I guess that is where Chiron succeeds. So I can see your point entirely.
Yeah. I don't like Chiron ADC as much as some other people might, but I think like in mid he's a really strong pick right now.
Still thinking about this one, thinking if they want to commit to it, Amaterasu switch off of the Chang'e. I like that better.
Yeah, no, the Amaterasu is kind of what I was expecting once we saw the Bake Kujira, and they run 4 back.
Running 4 back. I mean, you can't do the 5th. Hera got banned away. But now it's Double Hunter. Double Hunter with Poseidon. I was talking about this before, earlier in the draft. Looking at it now, too, I'm a little nervous from the Killer Kappas engage. You don't want to be that solo engage with Ares no escape. You don't want to be that solo engage as a Bake Kujira, because you just get locked down by Karen or Amaterasu, and then your triple backline just eats you. Bakasura is not the one who's going to be doing the eating in this game.
Yeah, definitely a tough one for them to go with. I don't know if I love the Bakasura. I know it's ISO special, but it's just a tough one to make work here. There's so much, burst damage on that backline with that Poseidon, with that Chiron being able to just, drop some damage and hit the giddy up on you. So it's a tough comp for Kappas. I'm definitely rooting a little bit more towards Death Dealers on this one.
Yeah, Death Dealers have this front to back team comp style. We want to just move the fight from the front to the back. And we saw that in game number 1. They executed it very nicely. Here in game number 2, I see that even more with this double hunter that they're bringing out for us. And yeah, I'm looking at it more and more, and it's just like, can the Killer Kappas take out the backline of the Death Dealers before the backline of the Death Dealers takes out the Killer Kappas?
Yeah, definitely. Just it's such a tough fight for Killer Kappas. Like, how does Bakasura really get in there? How does Ares survive long enough to even get a no escape off? How does Bake Kujira even think about existing in front of two hunters and a Poseidon with an Amaterasu raining down autos too? It's such a well crafted team comp from Death Dealers.
I'm almost certain this Ares is not going to be able to finish his no escape. Like, he's going to get up into it, and then Death Dealers are going to look
get
at
up,
him and
get
go,
the CC immunity, and just fall down before he gets the pull finish. That's what I'm envisioning.
Ares can't pull you if he dies in the pull. Remember that, guys. It's common sense.
That is some hidden knowledge, If he's dead, he can't pull you.
I've done some funny things though with Ares and these teleport pads already in this season, so I don't know if I'm going to be seeing any of that in this game. I know I love when I see that kind of stuff.
My favorite still has to be the Ares Horus combo in Arena.
It's great.
Just, oh, by the way, you're in our fountain now.
Congratulations. We did it with Daji when Horus released. There was a bug where Horus could move Daji's Paolao. It was so disgusting. And the thing was, here, it would move the Paolao, okay, but it wouldn't move her.
Wouldn't move her, yeah.
So she'd be chilling in the middle of the field.
Everybody gets pulled to the fountain.
It's great. And the thing is, too, she lands out there and she's like, Guys, where'd everybody go?
Guys, are they all dead?
Uh, yeah, so many little niche things because what we were able to do with that then, because it was the Paolo that moved and not Daji, we were able to double move it with two horses using the Morgan. It's
I love like doing weird things in Smite. It's one of my favorites.
oh yeah, figuring out the little like dumb stuff you can do to just throw people off. It's great. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you see immediately. The quad gilded arrow.
Well, moving on into game number 2 here of Death Dealers versus Killer Kappas. Death Dealers leading 1-0 in the set, and Killer Kappas say their response is a whale, some chains, and some flames, and well, a whole lot of auto attacks.
I gotta respect the quad gilded arrow. They said, all right, we were behind in gold last game. We're all getting gold. Everybody's getting gold.
Bro, what is this?
I mean, I can understand it on Bakasura. You know, you have the sustain from the E menu.
I have been playing around with Gilded in the jungle. Okay.
It's certain gods that can use it. You know, Arachne really good with it.
Yeah, it's you. The sustain is the difficult part, and I'm gonna be honest. It does look like its ISO is already feeling that. Like when you are sustaining that, you can't be the one who's tanking the majority. That is kind of the trouble that I do see. You know, if you're gonna be the one eating the damage from all these camps, you're going to see yourself struggling. You know, you don't have that ability to. I mean, well, Baka does. He can just eat a minion.
Yeah, Baka,
it's
Arachne
not,
with the Arachne one.
The thing
There's
is, you're
certain
not leveling
gods
it.
that can do it, but it's tough.
Yeah, like look at him. I'm sure he ate minion right there, and he's down to about a third health. He realizes he can't go over there. His backs on the right side aren't going to be spawning for a while. It's a difficult position, I think, for this Bakasura. And speaking of difficult positions, Lone Wolf feeling another early game matchup over here in the solo lane.
Yeah, Bake Kujira early game has the extra auto damage from the gilded. Not much to say about that. Just going to be able to say, hello, I'm a whale. You're not allowed to be in the wave. Oh, you have to auto the wave to clear? That's rough. I'm going to be there.
You know who's not allowed to be anywhere? It's ISO right now. I'm just watching him move from one side of the jungle to the other, just scrounging for farm, looking for something that he could eat to heal back up and sustain. But look at that. Only now is he in a spot where he can actually, like, do something, and then he crosses a ward. So it's not like the Death Dealers don't know that he's here. He's just going to go and eat that one on up, taking away as much farm as possible, as much neutral farm as possible.
Yeah, cannot blame them looking for any sort of neutral farm, but definitely not working out as well as they might like. Ginkgo already starting to develop a little bit of an XP lead, and I mean, he just has a little bit more sustain. Says, oh, you took the Naga? Well, I'm going to take the shield camp.
No, I would say I would be a little bit worried about the Killer Kappas team comp having 3 auto-attacking physical characters, but when you give the look over to who their magical characters are, being Ares and Bake Kujira, I don't think they're going to be struggling for magical damage.
Yeah, if there's any 2 Guardians that do damage, it's those 2. That and, like, Kabrakan, you know?
Right. But here's what I see too is, you know, you get the Void Domaru, you get the Mystical Male, and I think both of these characters just kind of run at you and it hurts.
Maybe that's the secret. You build like 5 physicals and you just all get Mystical Male.
That is true.
They're not building magical defense.
Yeah, what else you can get is the, oh my good, Archdruids.
Is Archdruids magic?
It's magical damage, yep.
Huge.
Let me double check so I don't eat my words. Now.
Don't want to be misinforming people, but that could
your next
certainly
basic
be right.
attack on an enemy god consumes all stacks and deals 30 plus 2 per level magical damage per stack. Yes.
Huge.
So it is a way for physical. I think that's why we see it a lot over on those Surters in the solo lane, is because, oh, you're building Fizzdy, and then I just smack you with Archdruids, and well,
isn't Surter's one also magical damage? Well, when it stacks off of like his passive.
Now you're gonna make me
right. You stack up like the stacks, and they do magic damage and physical damage, so it's hard to build defense against it.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. I've played Surtur 2 times.
My Surtur has been limited to just running around, putzing around in the jungle, and that's about it. Just having fun. That's what I do. Okay. Like
it's just so hard to like slot him in the jungle, because If they just have like, oh, they have a Kukulkan, the most like popular mid laner right now. Oh, you landed inside of a tornado and a Spirit of the Nine Winds and you just instantly died?
What do you do? Yeah,
I think you cry.
just absolutely on the struggle bus, and not to mention when you're in the middle of a team fight, you try to go up into that end of days. You don't.
Yeah, no, you get hit by 4 crit autos from the full build hunter that just decimates your entire HP bar. Tough god to play in the jungle.
I'm watching its ISO's HP just dwindle to this speed buff. He can't finish it. Or no, he did finish it. Good. Okay, I was gonna say it's still up on my screen. Okay, he did finish it.
Just didn't pick it up
Almost
to
died,
clear
yeah.
it off the map. Okay.
Has Demon Blade Online finally gonna get some penetration in that build? I think that's gonna help a little bit. Unfortunately, it's not the rage that you were thinking, like get that early stacking item, but I'm fine with this because yes, he does need that penetration.
Yeah, definitely don't mind that. Wouldn't be too upset if we saw like a second item Xe. Just a little bit of a cheaper item. But at the same time, you really want to get that crit online.
The thing is, like, if you were gonna go with the Xe, I would have wanted it first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is what we call a little bit unfortunate. Frank not having beads available, has a teleport, doesn't have his dash up, obviously, I would assume. Ends up falling there to a no escape. Good Ares pull into that tower. Now it's ISO lurking in the jungle. Not able to get the jump off. Does he end up getting it? It's one auto attack. It's not enough.
It's not even close.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Not even close.
Bakasur just being a gremlin here in the early game, and Genko's just trying to exist and get his farm as well.
Mm-hmm. Still going with the proper build, going for that tier 2 on the Doom Orb straight into that flat pen item, like we were talking about in game 1. Just so much more bang for your buck there.
Absolutely. Speaking of, over here in the solo lane, Lone is feeling pretty comfortable in this matchup, it looks like. In game number 1, decided to fight the Vamana. Game number 2, realizing, well, I can't fight the whale early, would be kind of miserable for me to fight the whale early. So isn't.
Yeah, and you definitely, a lot of that has to do with, his item he gets to build first is just better than mine. Phalanx is just a better item compared to Shoguns. Like,
yeah.
just strictly better, so... definitely had a little bit of a deficit in this early game.
Don't worry, that god's getting nerfed this week.
Thank God.
Ah, thank God. Indeed.
Praise high res.
Praise the high res for getting that god out of my games. I mean,
you know what else
I doubt
they're
he'll
buffing?
be out of the games. What else they're buffing? Hebo.
My favorite item. Blackthorn Hammer.
Blackthorn Hammer getting the buffs. Yeah, it still just feels difficult to slot, but...
Oh, it's a super difficult one to slot. I really like it first item though on like gods that have awful mana control.
No, fucking. Who am I thinking? Odin. That's who I was thinking of. I don't know why.
I like it on Naja.
Came out of my mouth.
Naja MP5 doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Has one of the lowest mana pools in the jungle. Other than that, I think like Bakasura.
Well, something sticks. Knocking Lunar B to the gray screen. Really good snipe from Darth Dumbledore. But now it's ISO is here. Drops the regurgitate. There we go. Yep. I regurgitated on my own words right there.
Regurgitated some
Darth
words
Dumbledore.
there for sure.
Looking to get
chain
something
on the
here.
mark. Ooh, misses the second one. Not going to be able to grab too much here.
And now here comes Ginkgo. No escape is expended. Kraken at its location, getting down to about half HP's player Hone, and the members of the Death Dealers just gonna walk away from that one.
Yeah, not gonna be quite getting solo kills just yet with the Ares. You know, gotta hit all those chains. If he hits 3 chains there, he can realistically kill Chiron, but
oh yeah, you can
gotta hit him.
A little bit of a different start here in game number 2. Killer Kappas seeing themselves at a 1k gold lead at the 8.5-minute mark. Still pretty neutral.
Yeah, definitely still nice even game. Obviously, Bake making up a decent amount of that, just being able to do whatever he wants in this solo lane. I'm gonna get all the neutral farm. I'm gonna do what I want. He's hiding.
He's trying to collect the gold from behind the gold bit.
I like it. Trying to pick up some gold. Looks like we might have a little bit of a pause come out here.
we will be back with game number 2 in just a few minutes. We will let you, well, we will see you guys then. Welcome back. Game number 2 here of Death Dealers versus the Killer Kappas. Thanks for holding out for us. Moving on in. Frank being very cautious of a engage coming over here in the duo lane. Frank is surviving these. Not just surviving, Frank is getting the kill. Yeah. Okay, thank you for giving us that fiery start right back in. I think as soon as that Darkest of Nights happened, he was just I think you don't want to ult that way.
I gotta assume he was looking to finish off the kill and just waited a little bit too long. Wasn't able to stop the back. Unpaused shenanigans. We're gonna go with that.
Yeah, it's literally just a bunch of unpaused shenanigans. Gotta love it. Yeah. Ooh, a little bit of lag on my end. The teams going back into farming. Where were the teams at? Where were we at? Moving around. Ah, okay. Everybody wanting to get some farm online, get to these mid-game items we just saw. Ginkgo back, get that Spear of Desolation online. And that is going to be huge because now, as a Poseidon player with Spear of Deso, I'm looking to fight.
Oh yeah, looking to drop that Kraken and, you know, get 6 seconds refunded. Because, you know, haha, funny.
Now we're in the solo lane, just shenanigans. We'll be able to dash away from that one. I don't think Lone's too worried. Yeah, good ultimate though from Deacon. Definitely wasn't sarcasm. Yeah. I'm sure that wave loved to feel time dilated. There you go. Well,
good solo kill from Ralph.
Yeah.
Completely unbothered by the Ares. Just says, nah, this is fine. I got a kill.
Okay.
And it looks like there might be 2. Ares gets body blocked a little bit, but it's not going to be enough. He's an Ares. He's not dying me.
Alright, mental reset. We're good.
Somebody just won 10,000 gems. That's a huge mental reset thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they're happy jumping up and down. I've never had somebody win that in my own game, or somebody that I know win that, so I don't know how it feels.
Oh, okay, yeah. Somebody that I play with, you know, Dorky in this doesn't play here, not allowed, but he won it the last time they were doing it.
Oh, how nice. How fortunate.
Yeah, and you didn't give me any chests. Kind of sad.
Kind of rude, actually.
That's what I'm saying.
Here I decided to be your friend. Unbelievable. The nerve of some people.
Nah, I get that though. Like, where's my gems? Like dog. I'm gonna have like 100 people asking me for gems. What are you talking about?
You win the lottery and everybody comes up to you.
Everybody's looking for a handout.
Guys, the IRS already took theirs.
guys, they already took it all away.
I know they said it was a $10 billion pot, but I really only got 250,000.
They only gave me 37 cents. I don't know what to tell you. They say that I owe them money for winning the lottery.
Right.
I don't understand it. Good damage coming out of Lunar here, utilizing that crit. However, there's just a Kraken.
There's a Kraken. Remember what we said?
What have we learned? Ginkgo just throwing Kraken.
You get that Spear of Desolation online, you're just looking to fight. And now, Ginkgo, though, not wanting to fight without that Kraken. No escape is expended. No beads for this Poseidon. Get locked in here. Does have the Aegis Bacchus. Yeah, you're still able to chill. His beacon
that does a lot of damage.
Going back and forth.
It sneaks up on you.
Forcing out, it's ISO now. 2 members of the Death Dealers remaining, trying to get this beacon. It's ISO makes his way on back after eating a minion. Ginkgo getting poked out instead. Now it's just Darth versus ISO on the beacon. Darth rooting him in place. The Whirlpool is good. Darkest of Nights is expended. Nobody has a clue what's going on by the Killer Kappas when they can't see anything. This beacon is going back and forth the past minute now, still being contested by both of these teams. Now it's just the supports remaining here, and it's ISO makes his return to the beacon, but so does Lunar, and now the beacon finally goes the way of the Killer Kappas.
That was a long beacon fight. They were there for a whole 80 seconds.
Love beacon fights. It's just so chaotic, and they're in.
You gotta love ISO just coming back every like 20 seconds after eating a minion. No, I'm back. I got some more health. I'm here.
Got a little bit more poke.
No, I'm here.
One Poseidon combo isn't gonna kill me, right? Right, guys?
Nope. I'm out of range for a single auto attack on a tidal wave. We're good.
That's all that matters.
Gotta get back out of range. Give me a second.
Immediately poked out though. Look at this. Killer Kappas mid lane. Comes back in. You're half HP now. And I don't think Darth or Playerhone really lost anything. Just kind of still chilling here since the beacon fight. Ultimate expended though from Ral. Seeing if you can get a little bit more damage off. Was unable to do so.
You gotta go for it, you know. Not every day you're using a Chiron ult. Chiron ult. My bad. Got both of them on the same team.
Yeah.
It's messing me up.
It's those naming things, you know. You're gonna build a team with Mana, Ravana, Rama, Rada, the Chiron Karen thing, the Morgan and Morgan Le Fay.
That's always the worst. Or when like two people on the teams like just have names that are similar to each other.
Yes. Darth Dumbledore in a very difficult position, getting burned down. Yeah.
Just doesn't matter though.
Ultimate expended from its ISO, dropping that regurgitate to CC Immune. The Kraken does exactly that, finishes off Darth Dumbledore, sending him on back to the gray screen. Rotation here from Lone Wolf, though, thinking that a Gold Fury pull was inevitable, but does not look like Killer Kappas want that.
No, it doesn't look like they want it, but, you know, certainly could get that pressure. Hachiman ult forced out, not going to be able to see Amaterasu on the way there.
Ooh, early beads does
should
get
be able
stunned,
to confirm, yeah.
The whale is here now, and so is its ISO lurking around. Time dilation. End up slowing this one on down. Its ISO jumping on in, looking to get the pick off on Amaterasu. Does exactly that. Lone Wolf ends up falling. Deacon gets that one in his pocket.
I think we need to buff Bake.
Oh, right. Just get out of here.
He
That's
wasn't
it. We're
able to
done. All right,
instantly.
thanks everybody
He
for
wasn't
coming
able
out.
to instantly kill Amaterasu. I think we need to buff him up a little bit.
Thanks everybody for coming out. Yeah, hey, we're gonna end the stream right there. not listening
he's
to
just
your
he's
BS
just so good
anymore.
So
Not even as a joke. Gold Fury going down. First objective. Oh, second objective in the set for the Killer Kappas. Seeing a different push here in game number 2.
yeah, Killer Kappa certainly, you know, taking the bull by the horns this game. Something I'm gonna need to see coming out is some spectrals. I could realistically see, you know, 3 spectrals come out, and I wouldn't be too mad.
Why? Because everybody's buying crit over
There
on
are
the Killer
3
Kappas.
crit auto attackers.
Stygian Beacon, good. Finds the Izanami as well. Does a Chiron the Seeking Arrow. Looking for her, but she's able to get the dash on away. Pyromancer getting secured by the Death Healers. A good response from the Gold Fury pickup from the Killer Kappas. Get themselves a little bit of gold in pocket, get a bomb in the pocket, and I think they're not too upset with the outcome now, but it is 4K, 3K in favor of the Killer Kappas.
Yeah, certainly not ideal, but not the end of the world. Poseidon forced to use both of their relics there. Uses the ult to get away from the Bakasura. Pretty good trade for its ISO.
Pretty great trade. I mean, let me just get both of your relics and your ultimate, and all
For
it
my
cost me was my ultimate. Yeah.
I also respect the golden shard on Bakasura still.
Just holding onto that. Well, I mean, when he doesn't go Golden Blade, can you blame
Yeah,
him?
no, it feels so horrendous without Golden Blade.
Yeah.
I like that. Like, I've had some jungle games where I'm playing, like, Arachne, and it's just like, I'm not getting rid of this. Level 18? Okay, I'll get rid of it. I'm getting
maybe.
close to full build now.
Yeah, would I just
But
walk past
like
the camp and
holding it.
just one-shot it with a leap or something?
Yeah, I hit all of them for, like, you know, 2 autos because I'm just like a crit assassin. Yeah, no, we're fine. We don't need the golden shard. So I like that being able to farm.
Yeah. Double horrific, double ultimate over in the solo lane, just solo lane things, and they're still over there just smacking each other. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, a little bit of a mid support going on here as the second beacon soon to spawn. Darkest of Nights expended as Frank is looking to dive the tower over in the dual lane as well. Just fights in all 3 lanes right now.
Yeah, everybody looking for a fight. Best one is going to be that beacon fight. Do see a nice on 3v3. Summon 6 goes huge, followed by a Kraken.
Oh, the damage is good. Ginkgo ends up finding Lunar B, but Lunar B finds it. The return pick as well. A little 1-for-1 trade there. Darth Dumbledore ends up falling though, and so does Ral. It's ISO picking up a double kill in this team fight, and the Killer Kappas picking up their second beacon. Now, really good pressure from the Killer Kappas. Way different from game number 1 that we saw.
Yeah, its ISO goes insane with a regurgitate there. Just rips through 3 health bars in an instant. Incredible.
Bit worried if I'm low and teleporting into the mid lane right here. Ends up having to dash away from that one. Taking a little bit too much damage, but here comes Deacon.
Where are the spectrals? Where are the spectrals?
Nah, Midgard.
There are 3 people with crit. Why do we have Midgard instead of spectral?
Because we need slow them down because they don't have haste. I don't.
My head, it's melting. Did you see the Void Damaru come out for Deacon there? Do you like that? Being able to enhance not only his damage, but the Ares damage as well.
He finishes it with a mystical.
I wouldn't mind it. I think it's a good item on Baka. You know, you kind of just want to be directly next to somebody.
I mean, you don't even need to be directly. You're just slowing them with the time dilation. They're just taking tick, 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 tick the entire time.
Tick while you're autoing them.
Yeah.
You have attack speed, so you have haste. Yeah. It's just
miserable feeling all around.
Yeah. Anytime there's a enemy whale, you're just like, man, I don't want to play the game.
Boxing match over here in the duo lane. Good stun coming out from Gemini. Frank wanting to commit to this one, unable to close the gap. Looks like Gemini's going to get away with mounted archery. Oh, and now over in the mid lane, Regurgitate use Summon 6's use. Chiron gets up into the open, but there's a Kraken on top of this Bakasura to peel for his team. Ginkgo ends up shutting down. It's ISO now, the no escape pulling back in. 2 members of the Death Dealers. Getting the kill is the Lunar Bee, and now the Whale is back here in the middle lane, and charging in is the Killer Kappas. Relics getting expended. Poseidon falling low, filing down, falling to the gray screen, and Player Hone ends up finding Darth Dumbledore. Really good pickup, really good rotation from the Killer Kappas, and to me, that smells Gold Fury.
Yeah, certainly smells Gold Fury, not only for you, but for the Killer Kappas going to be able to go ahead and pick this up. You know, you don't want to lose ISO there, but ISO for, 3 kills after you buy enough time for Deacon to get there, massive. I'm sure there's some words. Lone. Why is there a whale here? Why is the whale killing our whole team? Please.
Both times that it happened, when Lone teleported over to mid in that last engagement, when the mid tier 1 tower was going down, Deacon just walked over. Okay, even just now, during this one, while Lone was over there, Deacon just walked over. You know, still has the teleport available. Deacon is just walking across the map. To me, it's vision, vision. And again, like you were saying, calling it out that this person's not here. So it's lacking. I mean, just look at the jungle. We see a lot of red wards. We're only just now seeing a couple Death Dealer wards getting placed. So
yeah, definitely a much better game coming out of their Killer Kappas this time. Able to, find their early footing, and they're looking really strong right now. Definitely a big turnaround from game number 1.
Yeah, 6-11 here, 22-minute mark, and now a 6K gold lead. Sitting pretty comfortably is the Killer Kappas. Got 5.5. That was close. Not bad. Yeah, math is math.
Right about there.
Yeah. I am
One other thing I was looking at though is Ares with Prophetic. I think he had 12 stacks.
You get that in the second item slot. Yeah.
Stack it.
It's not terrible, but I think when you're getting Prophetic in the second item slot, unless you're being super aggressive to stack it, it just doesn't feel good.
I mean, you're playing Ares, you're aggressive, but like, it doesn't matter. You have 1 ranged ability,
more
and
aggressive.
it's a chain.
Bakasura sneaking in behind the Death Dealers team right here, ends up eating a Kraken, but it's ISO ends up falling. Ral finds that one off the back end. A good engaged attempt from its ISO, but unfortunately the tables have turned. Now Death Dealers marching up here in the middle lane. The Whale is coming, teleporting on in. 4v4 here in the middle lane. Look at him just walk forward menacingly. No escape.
He's walking
but they're all
menacingly.
That's a 4-man.
He pulled 4 people with no escape.
I'm like jaw dropped right now, yeah.
Oh, mounted archery. Good follow-up.
It's over. This fight's over. Ooh, close. Close on the pickup there, but a blink in. Trying to just get this last kill. Unable to do so. Good Aegis coming out from Ginkgo. Gonna end up retreating back towards the Pyromancer, maybe even towards the Fire Giant. You have a double ADC
I could see
comp.
the Fire Giant pull here. They have double. They have double crit ADC. They have a Shoguns. They have the tools to be able to pull this, and it looks like they might. No,
Nope,
never
gonna
mind.
go for the Pyromancer instead. Frank over there pushing down the duo lane, ends up getting that tier 2 tower, the whale, hot on his trail, and the Pyromancer now depleting its HP bar, getting on down, and that is a killer Kappas Pyromancer here. 24 minutes beacon going the way of the Death Dealers, though. Sneaking that one away is Ral, just kind of chilling.
Yeah, not able
Get what
to
you can, yeah.
steal the Pyromancer, but no, at least take the beacon. I like the beacon system now, honestly. I think it's a little bit better than the Unleashed Titans.
I think it's better than the Unleashed Titans, but I just feel like it's missing something.
It's not the most impactful, that's for
Yeah.
sure. I just hated how much the Unleashed Titans were like too much,
Yeah, I loved though the siege mechanics from back when we first got the trebuchets.
I
I
love
loved
the trebuchets.
trebuchets were awesome. Okay.
Yeah, back when you would steal you would juice the
Yeah.
Jimmy. You would go ahead and steal all the offerings from the
Yeah.
thing, get yourself the scepter.
The
That
thing
was
about
that was some of the favorite
Oh,
mechanics
yeah.
for me.
The thing about the Unleashed Titans that I hated was like, guys, we just won a huge team fight. Let's go and end. Where's the Titan? Down
He's
at our
chilling.
tier 2 tower.
He's chilling
Yeah.
over in solo.
He's just like, yep, smacking the other guy. Like, hey, what you doing here? Another day. Chain
Yeah,
1,
that
chain
or
2,
like-
chain 3 over here. Player home seeing if they could get some good poke off onto Lone Wolf. Killer Kappas looks like they're trying to set up for this fire giant. Have a nice advantageous position here.
Yeah, definitely. Gonna be able to take this on relatively even terms. Nobody getting too crazy with it. Kappa's maybe a little bit better on the wording. Have a couple of words on the enemy side. I'd say it's about even on the word front.
Yeah, fairly even. It's good to have this kind of vision around here. I mean, we saw it in game number 1 when we just threw a Kraken over the wall and called it a day, and we're able to take something. Raven Ward, though, is pretty good. It allows you to just kind of see everybody. No centering that one.
I've taken a look at the builds, and there's no
Oh.
spectrals.
Still no spectrals.
Nobody's even building into it.
Yeah, we see a Kins come out from Lone and now building into a Katana. Meanwhile,
get that
Darth
Hasten
probably
Katana.
going into that Chronos Pendant again. Yeah, I'm kind of, I'm there with you.
There needs to be a spectral here. I'm not loving it. Another thing I'm not loving is player hone level 17 with no upgraded starter. Gotta get those upgraded nice and early. They're really good. They give you gold per minute. Really strong.
Especially when you have a lead, you're chilling then at that point. A little bit of a poke attempt here from both these teams. A very aggressive grouping on both sides. Just trying to see what they can get, seeing if they could catch somebody off guard. And I think, what do I want to say that doesn't sound... I've got words in my head, Ruler? And when I'm looking at this, I want to say those words, but man.
Yeah, honestly, like this is just going to be a stalemate.
Yeah.
Kappas have, finally learned their lesson of, hey, we can't just have Bakasura initiate because he's just going to eat, a Kraken, a Charon ult, a Chiron ult even.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why we're sending Lone around the side here. Ooh, unfortunate positioning, a little bit too aggressive. Lone forced to use the ultimate, and so is Darth. That's 2 ultimates expended from the Death Dealers, and honestly, that might be the go signal for the Killer Kappas. That granted, they still have the Kraken, but now you start baiting this objective, get them up in there. 2 ultimates down, they're going to start feeling a little bit antsy, needing to step up.
Yeah, definitely could see, Ares make a big play here. Does have the Blink ult available. Do see, all 5 ults available for the Killer Kappas, so definitely a good time for them to make a play here before those ultimates start to come back up.
Here's what I would do.
It's just tough to make progress. Ares coming in.
Here's what I'm going to hold off. Gets the Amaterasu. The horrific is good. Collapse over onto Lone. But Bake Kujira is taking a lot of damage as well. Deacon ends up falling. Lone falls as well. Both solos off the map. Kraken rips through the back line of the Killer Kappas. And now kind of a little bit of a return to neutral here in this team fight as both teams are poked out to about the exact same without their front line. To me, what I wanted to see in that was the Ares pulling both frontliners. Seeing him grab Darth, seeing him grab Lone together, not having beads, not having ultimates, and just pulling them somewhere else. just saying,
Yeah.
cool, I'm going to take you over to this left side. And during that time, Deacon and the rest of my team are just going to dive your back line as 4. You know, you're not able to respond because you don't have any sort of CC immunity. You're not able to get away from me. And just remove somebody, you know, utilizing that for more than just pulling somebody to your team, pulling somebody away from their team, I think is also useful.
Yeah, definitely. Something that, you know, not a lot of Ares players are going to utilize is just separating the team fight. You don't have to displace them to you. You just have to displace them. Okay, yeah, you know, you're not allowed to be in this fight anymore. You're going to have to use, you know, your movement abilities to get back into this fight. You're going to be missing a lot before you're back into this fight. And that's
No,
just,
but
you know, not something everybody does, you know.
yeah.
It's a tough one to think about, you know, and that's just, you know, a little bit more experience goes a long way there.
Beacon going down. Meanwhile, so is the Pyromancer. Death Dealers end up taking that one away for themselves, and the Beacon goes the way of the Killer Kappas. Now another regrouping around this Fire Giant pit. I really need Lone to just kind of step back here and regroup with their team, you know? Just, it felt like that engagement from the Killer Kappas could have been a lot worse had Lone or Darth had their ultimates.
Yeah, and at this point they do, you know. This is an even game, I would say. 3,000, 3,500.
Oh, without a doubt.
At 30 minutes is negligible. So, nothing too crazy there, but you still have to be wary of, you know, the Killer Kappa's ability to shred if they are able to get a little bit of that lockdown. So, have to be wary of this Ares and where he's at, but can certainly still look for fights.
That is the last person I want to see standing that far forward. Ginkgo playing really aggressive here, playing with fire. You're able to see the ring from that distance, my friend. And unless I'm on a sentry ward, I don't want to be posturing anywhere near this, especially in front of my front line.
Yeah, and like you're talking, Killer Kappas have wards there. They have that vision, and thankfully getting centered
Seer.
out there.
Seer.
Yeah, that's right. Seer OP. I forget that does that. Just you can't have wards. Sorry, I exist.
Ginkgo now realizing he was standing on all of the wards from the Killer Kappas, like, oh, I cleared one buff and everything is back here. Meanwhile, over on the other side, Frank pulling this Primal Fury. I don't know.
I don't
wait,
think he can
but
even
look
do
who's
that, yeah.
behind him. Yeah, it's ISO's right behind him too. They're both on this end of the map.
I like that.
Oh,
though,
wow.
you know, looking for a little bit of something. Amaterasu, though, going to be looking for Lunar here. Not able to get over the wall, and this is a big fight, honestly.
Summon Sticks ripping through. Ral ends up finding Gemini Angel. That's both carries down now for the Killer Kappas, and it's ISO's over on the other end of the map, split pushing. Now Death Dealers collapsing onto this Bake Kujira. Deacon ends up falling. Ral gets himself another kill in this team fight. And there's no continue from the split push from it. ISO making the rotation over here. You know, Player Hone really poked out. Both of them have ultimates available, but Death Dealers are 4 strong, very healthy. I get it. It's EFG. Here comes now. It's ISO into the backline, drops the regurgitate over on to the backline, ends up finding Frank,
Okay.
finds Ginkgo,
All right,
moves
okay.
for 3, gets the triple
Never mind.
kill to defend this. Okay, you know what? I'll eat my
My bad,
words.
my bad.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have doubted him. That's on me. That's on me.
Triple kill, looking for the quadra kill as he's chasing down Darth. Jump a little bit off the mark. Darth waiting for that dash, gets that dash. Blink is
No.
good. Roots him in place though. If he didn't need that root, if he waited another half second, I think he might have had it. Unfortunately, not able to get it. Sitting behind the tower though, looking for that rotation as Player Hone, and the teleport is good. Lone
He's
Wolf
flooded
is
out
here.
by those minions. This could be a bad look for him here. Getting knocked down by this Amaterasu. Ooh, horrific used, getting himself some distance, going to be able to get out of there.
Use the blink as well. Now the Ares does not have horrific, does not have blink, and that's something to think about if I'm the Death Dealers. You know, similar like in that last engagement where 2 ultimates weren't on the side of the Death Dealers. Now the Ares doesn't have his massive form of engagement. Now he has to do that awkward Ares walk. This Fire Giant is melting. Wow. Killer Kappas end up securing that one. Enhanced Fire Giants here at the 33-minute mark going in their favor. Lone ends up falling. Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot you can do with 3 crit carries just melting an objective.
I've taken a look at Darth Thumble's last item, and it displeases me greatly.
My day is ruined.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined for sure. There's 3 crit. auto attackers. Why is there not a single Spectral? It's an aura item, please. It's good, I promise.
I mean, instead of getting one shot, your team's getting two shot, maybe three shot. So to me, I think that's a good idea.
If Darth had a Spectral there, maybe ISO doesn't get a triple kill.
Maybe ISO doesn't.
Probably gets pretty close still. I mean, Baka with that much crit just hurts.
I think that's something that the
denying
Death
that.
Healers needed to anticipate too, is that somebody's probably lurking nearby who isn't over in the dual lane anymore. But you know who is in the dual lane? 5 members of the Killer Kappas, all with enhanced Fire Giant, all very healthy, marching into this Phoenix line. I'll make that 4 members because it's ISO's over there catching the middle wave.
Yeah.
Wanting to hold off though. Just kind of waiting it out, seeing what they could do. No, never mind. He wants to get the beacon.
He's going to grab the beacon, you know, crack a little bit of the health off of those 2 Phoenixes. Probably going to be able to just get that right tower out right with it as well.
Nah, tier 2 tower lives. It's gonna be like
this is a max damage beacon.
Ah, man.
I called it, man. I got it. Do see them looking for a little bit of something. They do have the EFG, but Death Dealers honestly don't have a bad siege defense comp. You know, that summon sticks, that Kraken, that dazzling offensive. They have tools to be able to defend this, and Killer Kappas aren't looking to make a mistake here.
Yeah, Killer Kappas taking their time, being patient, seeing what they can get, just pushing up these waves, getting their items, and returning. And Lone, and not with the team,
if Lone
though,
shows up on that wave, I think that Killer Kappas get that absolute engage.
Lone on the wave. Killer Kappas still waiting though.
Taking their time. He's still pushing up though. This is about to be go time.
Now marching in, the Killer Kappas pushing the offense on this Phoenix. Middle Phoenix just shredded. Kraken on the Ares, not doing enough damage, but you know what is doing enough damage? The auto attacks from Frank over onto Deacon. So, dual lane Phoenix down as well. 2 Phoenixes down, 5 members strong, still chilling around in the jungle side of the Death Dealers. All the while, Lone trying to push up this Phoenix, seeing if they could get something off this in a return, but Deacon is here.
Yeah, just gonna have to back off that one. Gives Killer Kappas, you know, they're able to crack the base. They get 2 birds down. Probably gonna go ahead and, you know, restock, grab another bomb. And they're just in a great position, you know. 11,000 gold up. They have the EFG. They have 2 birds down. Again, you know, very different from that game 1 where, you know, Death Dealers were in the driver's seat. It's Killer Kappas all the way right now.
And they're not willing to let it go. And I think with this triple crit backline, they have much more opportunity to just sneak away those objectives.
Oh, 100%. Able to just completely destroy those objectives before anybody even realizes that they're thinking about going on them. So, just unfortunate, you know, the build pass on the Death Dealers don't take into account that crit.
Teams just kind of getting ready. It looks like the Killer Kappas wanting to push down this last Phoenix, starting to march their way down that solo lane. All the while, Death Dealers trying to clear up these waves ever so slightly, as much as they can. No more enhanced Fire Giant for the Killer Kappas. Just jumped in. Lone just missed the dash.
Enhanced Fire Giant, but Bakasar is really scary here.
Just a tad.
Force out the dazzling offensive.
Damage.
Regurgitate gets him through the stun, and that is just a solo kill. Doesn't care if there's a Kraken. Doesn't matter. That's 1 man down, 30 seconds for fire. He'll be down for 30 seconds after that fire spawns, and Killer Kappas is just in such a good position. Like, massive turnaround from game 1.
I wanted to take this solo lane Phoenix. There we go. I was saying it right.
That's a lot
the solo lane Phoenix.
That did so much damage. Chiron hit 1 ability and then hit a homing auto after it.
Oh, you know what did hit that summon stick? Skinko ends up finding it. Frank finds 1 himself. 2 members down now for the Killer Kappas, and the Death Dealers are on the chase, extremely healthy, looking for something. The Killer Kappas
can't get greedy though. They recognize
absolutely.
It. Death Dealers. We have 3 birds down. We can't just go for the bum rush here, and I really respect that. Being able to say, the Winions hurt. The Winions will absolutely win the game. Go please. Please. Just defend the Titan.
I was gonna say, I think what's great is the fact that having those 2 members down means that the Killer Kappas can't take Fire Giant themselves without Death Dealers putting in some serious work. But you know what is putting in work? It's ISO on this Bakasura. Enhanced Fire Giant going down for the Killer Kappas yet again. That's 2 calls now, I think, from the Death Dealers that are just a little bit of a miss. You know, they felt like they had a really good fight, had a really good opportunity, and went for the objective. I love the aggressive play, but it just felt like, you know, it wasn't the right one.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, the second time that ISO has just kind of come in and just swept up the people on that Fire Giant. Picks up Rel, picks up the Fire Giant itself, and puts Kappas right back into an ideal position. Titan, 2/3 health. Phoenix is starting to respawn, you know, getting pretty close to that respawn, but this Oni Fury already coming out, not going to be fun.
But here's what I would have seen is, like, you're seeing waves get pushed up. They only have 3 members. You can send 1 or 2 over to just kind of keep an eye on that jungle side, keep some ward vision over there, make sure that the Killer Kappa's 3 members aren't pulling the enhanced Fire Giant. All the while, the rest of your lanes are getting pushed up. You have 2 members with teleport. You tell me they can't be over there in a heartbeat, if need be?
I have to agree there. I would have loved to see them. ISO, what are we doing? What is this? No, he's
or
not.
his life.
Does get out 2 ultimates, cracking down as well as that summon sticks. Looks like Lone Wolf's also in a tough position. Player Hone going to be able to pick that one up along with his 21st prophetic stack.
Lunar got caught by that Chiron ultimate and gets sent out. Deacon ends up falling as well. A little bit of life in this Death Dealers team. But the fire minions are pouring in. Their phoenixes are down yet again. And here come the Oni fire waves next.
Yeah, able to, you know, defend for now. Obviously, ISO gets a little bit greedy with that one. Tries to walk past 3 people to end the game. I gotta respect it, you know. Probably like, man, I just want this game to end. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time for game 3. You gotta go for it. I respect it.
Come on.
Don't know if that's true or not, but that's my headcanon.
That's your head.
I know that person. I watched that person stream. Captain Loveboat winning 10,000 gems. That's huge.
Cool.
I know that name. I know that guy.
I was like trying to figure out what you were talking about because I'm like looking at items, looking around, and I was like, okay. Yeah, that last call from the Death Dealers, I'm just gonna segue off that. That last call from the Death Dealers, I think really put them back into this difficult position. They had a chance to come out of it where they would have had the waves pushed up in duo and mid. Their phoenixes would have respawned. With the respawn of the Killer Kappas members, the Fire Giant would not have been pulled at that time. You only got to worry about the solo lane fire minions. You can defend that while defending Fire Giant easily. But now we're back to square one. Duo lane Phoenix down, mid lane Phoenix down, solo lane Phoenix down, enhanced Fire Giant around, well, 1 remaining member of the Killer Kappas, but it's not slowing down their push.
Yeah, it doesn't slow them down, and nor should it. You know, they have these 3 fire waves pushing. They have plenty of pressure, and it's a tough one because, you know, Death Dealers have a good defensive comp. Being able to just absolutely poke out massive damage with that Chiron, being able to just put out a ton of burst damage with this Kraken, and of course the massive CC from Dazzling Offensive and Summon Sticks.
Marching in, Horrifics are dropped, and so is that solo lane Phoenix. Lone on the backline of the Killer Kappa, stunning out Deacon. Zanami dropping her ultimate, and it looks like a disengage from the Killer Kappas. Are going to set up for the next Fire Giant as the Death Dealers deal with 3 fire waves pouring into their half-health Titan room.
Yeah, and keeping these Phoenixes down is making sure that's not regenning, so definitely just an awful position to be in for the Death Dealers. And that Titan just doesn't feel good. Half health.
No,
Hopefully
because I feel like
we don't see ISO trying to go for the hero play.
No, but what I do see though is after this enhanced Fire Giant gets taken, I see 3 crit characters, hyper carries in the late game here, just dashing in and just ending this game.
So Lone sold an item for a physical defense item.
It's still not spectral.
It's still not spectral. Oh. That's all I can muster for that. Just a All
right, ladies and gentlemen here on the chat. I'm gonna hold
Ladies
that
and
thought
gentlemen,
right now.
dead
I'm gonna
Amaterasu. That's
spectral
the
armor
SG.
is 2,300 gold. Okay,
Okay,
gives you
okay.
50 physical protections.
Ooh, 50? That's a pretty
Yeah,
nice.
it's pretty nice number there. 150 health, a little bit of extra health
Okay.
in there, yeah. 300 mana. Okay,
Ooh,
so you
gives
get some mana.
too.
It also
Okay.
gives you some
Something for the whole
MP5, so you can
family.
regenerate your mana. But here's the little special thing: is it has an aura on it. Okay.
Ooh, can you tell me
Okay.
about this
Yeah,
aura?
I'll tell you about this aura. Okay, allied gods within 55 units take 40% reduced bonus damage from physical critical strikes. It's pretty nifty, huh? Don't you think?
Ooh. That does sound neat. And I mean, taking less from critical strikes, like
But the
that's
thing
got to
is,
be
hold
pretty
on,
handy.
that's not it though. It has a passive too. Aside from the aura, when you get hit by a critical strike, you gain 10 physical power and 15 magical power, which stacks 3 times. Pretty nifty, huh?
Great Kraken comes out and
Did that just
what
disengage
looked like
that
it
fight?
would have been tough for a second.
So we're joking around.
Just Kraken into the Centaurus from Rao sends everybody packing in. They might be able to save that mid and left bird at this point.
I think that might have slowed down the engage from the killer cap as middle Phoenix has respawned. Duo Phoenix has respawned, but that solo Phoenix still down for another couple. What, 2 minutes? I believe it's 4 minutes on the Phoenix. In a minute.
I couldn't give you a good answer on that. I've never even thought about timing it.
Coming in, there goes the regurgitate, but there goes its
Was it
ISO.
worth it? Was it worth it?
You keep up the pressure. The mid Phoenix is down to Gemini Angel ends up finding Lone Wolf, and now the engage from the killer cap is looking to put this one away, unable to find anybody with the no escape. Marching into the Titan room, though they are not finished still. Enhanced Fire Giant around 4 members. Titan HP is dwindling. Disengage a little bit ever so slightly, looking for kills, not looking for the Titan. Frank ends up finding Lunar. Gemini finds Frank. Rao finds Deacon. Ginkgo finds Gemini, and it's only player home left. Never mind. He's on out of here. Fire minions pouring in. Death dealers live to fight another day.
They live to fight another day, but they're still not out of it yet.
Maybe
They
live to
get the
fight another
deicide
hour then.
and they can't end the game.
Yeah.
That's so tough, and that's the problem with having all of those Phoenixes down. If you just kind of walk up mid, those minion waves will absolutely just crush your Titan, and you don't even think about it. You're like, man, it's just a one fire wave. It's no big deal. Oh, my Titan, please. You
Right.
win those, right? No, he does not.
The Death Dealers need to get something off of this. They need to get some sort of pressure back, pushing up these waves. Maybe you're just getting down a tier 2 tower. It would have been nice to get a Phoenix. Don't get me wrong, but play
It's
forward,
not
work back.
It's
Right.
nice, but not realistic. At least being able to push up these waves.
We got a
Maybe
bomb on
get some
Chiron.
health on this solo
Raul's got a
lane.
bomb.
Yeah, he had a bomb. That is correct.
Could have pushed down.
Very astute
maybe.
observation.
Yeah.
Does
Let me
have the
smack
bomb,
you.
but he also does a ton of structure damage. Like,
Exactly. Like
have you ever played
penetration.
just a full pen power hunter? You like two-shot the
I
bird.
do it on Loki. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, you hit like 400, 500 on like a structure, and you're like, huh?
Just auto attack cancel it, burst it down, and then yeah, you're like, am I meant to assassin players or am I meant to assassin structures? I can't tell.
Oh, both is good. Both is good.
Both, yeah, both very good.
That's such a good movie. Road to El Dorado. It's a classic.
It's one I haven't seen in a long time.
I watched it maybe like 4 months ago. I was
Wow.
binging some of those like old movies like Atlantis, Treasure Planet.
Oh God.
Like
wow.
Treasure Planet is my favorite movie that like wasn't super successful. It was so ahead of its time with animation.
It was good, and Atlantis was another great one. I gotta rip out the VHS tapes.
Oh God, the VHSs.
Now playing in VHS. Now available on VHS. Oh God. God, I'm just like thinking about it now. Yeah.
You walk up to the big old tube TV, throwing it in the built-in VCR player. Oh,
and found out your sister watched it in the middle of the night and didn't rewind the tape.
It didn't rewind it. Oh my God, evil.
The
Vanished.
nerve of some people.
Some
if you don't rewind your VHS tapes, yeah, you don't deserve to live.
Do not deserve to be a productive member of society.
Killer Kappas grouping as 5 finally here at the 48.5-minute mark in game number 2. Not wanting to push down this solo lane, Phoenix gonna back off to that enhanced fire giant, look for another pull on it, and Can definitely do it. 2 Phoenixes still down for the Death Dealers. I don't see contesting this as too much of an option. The unfortunate part is I think it is a must. But when you do it, then you have, again, like we just said, 3
Yeah,
crit hyper carries. And
you go in there and Lone gets picked and he doesn't quite steal it and now you're 4v5. It's such a tough position to be in, you know, because this
Did
EFG
Lone-
is very important, but at the same time you can't risk losing a person and losing the EFG. So
I'm trying to figure out how Lone walked past everybody, got behind them, was walking around. Fire Giant goes down, and Lone's just like, oh,
oh
oh.
I think he forgot that there were, you know, 3 crit auto attackers to shred it. He's like, I got time, I can take the long way, I can take the scenic route, and he could not. He
All
in
3
fact could
Phoenixes. Nah. All 3 Phoenixes are back
not. Yeah, Baka
up.
has 2 bombs.
No,
Bake is
2
going to
Phoenixes are
take a
back
Phoenix.
up. Yeah.
And Bake's in mid. And
All 1
the mid
Phoenix
bird
is
is down.
back up. Killer Kappa's looking
Great
to get
Ares
really
pull.
absolutely, but Bake
Oh.
Kujira, Deacon is the first
Centaurus.
one to fall. Centaurus is putting in absolute work. Gemini Angel ends up. Oh my goodness.
This
Death
is
Dealers?
what Death Dealers needed.
Death Dealers?
Like I said, they don't need to get the EFG. They need to be able to defend this 5, and their usage of abilities is just insane. There, use all 5 of those ultimates, but able to
It
grab
hits.
that. This could be game.
You're 5 members strong.
Run it down mid.
You only have Lunar on the defense. There's no way.
They win this.
There's
this
no
is,
way this just happened.
There's still 45 seconds till Deacon's up. 50 seconds before another damage dealer's up. This could definitely be game.
They are marching it down here in the mid lane. I don't know about
they
that
have the
shell right
Chiron.
now, but I
They have the
respect it. They don't have the Chiron only. They have 2 hunters. They have an Amaterasu. They got a bomb. The Phoenix is gone. End the game. Put it away. It's only Lunar B on the defense. Marching in.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Frank ends up getting that one. Really good CC. Holding that one in place. As Darth Dumbledore. Titan getting down 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Summon sticks dropped and Titan gone. What? That's game 2.
That's the set. Death Dealers.
That just happened. Death Dealers just 2-0. The Killer Kappas off that.
That's so rough. You know, you're in a bad position for so long, and you finally just you get to the light at the end of the tunnel, and Death Dealers bring it home off of just an incredible defense.
I'm
Lone
like
Wolf,
trying to
1 in
figure
10,
out what to say.
but
Yeah.
that's not a 1 in 10 game. You know,
I'm like
that was like a 5
out,
in 5 game. He put in so much work, but
You're
not going
looking
to be
at
reflected in the stat line.
Yeah, you're looking at the slash lines. You're looking at the pressure in the game, and it just felt like there were a lot of calls from the Killer Kappas that were off the mark. You know, and I'm not gonna name anything in specific or any one in specific, but you probably want to be grouped as a team, or at least looking to pressure at the same time instead of going off on your own and doing your own thing. In multiple instances, I felt like there were Killer Kappas and calls that could have been made that weren't because of those instances.
Definitely not the most accurate shot calls. I mean, looking for things, but you know, you only have a couple people on the same idea, and I mean, it's ISO. I want to say isn't their jungler, so you know that might have had a little bit of influence there. I want to say their jungler is not Seox, right?
You're gonna make me
Just
look at
agree with me. I know it's right.
Sure.
I was just letting you. You know.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. I know I'm right.
One thing that I do want to say though is no matter what on those defenses, where we saw success from the Death Dealers was somebody was getting locked into place and multiple people were hitting that. You know, I was watching Frank and Ral just melt people. Ginkgo dropping 2-man, 3-man Krakens and just really disrupting these fights at the same time. And I think that's good coordination despite how the rest of the game goes. They can go ahead and VOD review the rest of the game. But when I look at those defenses, I'm seeing you guys are all on the same target. And that's what's huge because that right there is going to, you just move from one target to the rest. You know, you build this team comp. Go ahead.
They had great target priority. They had, you know, great idea of how they wanted to defend. Okay, come on into the Phoenix where we're going to hit you with a dazzling offensive straight into a summon sticks and Centaurus is ripping through you. You don't know what's going on. You're blind and just absolute perfect coordination on those defenses. Might not have, you know, been able to coordinate as much as they might like to in some of those, more spur of the moment battles, but on those defenses, just absolutely in tune.
2-0 here. Friday Night Lights. Killer Kappas and the Death Dealers. Death Dealers going to walk away from this one excited, getting themselves 3 points on the board, getting themselves on the board at all. So, really great shout out to them. I'm glad they proved us wrong over in our predictions. You know, came together as a team. Game one. Game one looked phenomenal. Some rough edges to sand off. Game number 2, but if they can keep playing the way they played in game number 1, I see a lot of potential. And then when I look at the Killer Kappas, like you said, they had
I
a
like
sub.
seeing that game number 2. I like seeing them be able to hold their own under pressure.
Yes.
That's a big thing too. The mental aspect. They were down nearly that entire game, but they were never out of it, and that's something I have to respect. A group of guys that's willing to be 10, 20. I think there was almost up to 30,000 gold down, and
Oh God,
just didn't care. Doesn't matter. The game's even. You got 5 members on your side, we got 5 members on ours, and we're gonna take this. Just
absolutely, yeah. The game's not over until you see the defeat screen or the victory screen, and playing it all out is what's essential. So, great job from these 2 teams tonight. Thank you all very much for coming out. Thank you, Ruler, helping me out here on the desk. Thank you, Salty, our spectator for tonight, unmentioned until now. Salty, thank you very much, everybody. We will see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. We have another set lined up for you. It is Vibe Tribe and Gun Show Shoguns.
That is our noon. That is not our 8 o'clock.
That is not. Well, we have a noon one
tomorrow.
now. Okay, they surprised me.
Noon Saturday, as well as an 8 o'clock. Both to be watch sets. So
yeah, look forward to that. And we'll see you then. Until then, have a good rest of your night.